Peace. Hi, folks. Welcome to Albuma. Here, Gary Bay, your friend. And this time I want to share some thoughts about the case of, or maybe we should call it the rise and fall and return of Jussie Smollett. The Jessy Smallest case, now that he is free again. Want to share some thoughts with you. Thank you very much. Gary Bay here. First of all, I do not feel rejoiced about what's going on with Mr. Jesse's life, what he have done. The evidence is overwhelming, but this case, I think it must be re-evaluated, thinking about his community, the black community, thinking about obviously the gay community, and why is this case becoming such an important part of the American history? Because it is not only gossip. It has turned into a joke or many jokes, and even his black community is making fun of him because it's obvious that he was, he is, and maybe he will still lie to his fans, to his community, to the world. Now, this is a heavy burden for Jesse. Since I was a child, I wanted to be black. All my life, I've been a great admirer of the black culture, the black music, the black musicians, James Brown, Miles, Duke Ellington, Aretha Franklin, Nina Simone. They are the greatest. And also their literature. There's one book that I want to suggest to you if you want to read it or reread it, and it's from H.E.B. Du Bois, and it's titled The Souls of Black Folk. The Souls of Black Folk. This is a jewel of book. This is a masterpiece. And maybe we can find another ways of thinking about race. Some studies say that there is no race, that race does not exist. I have thought this for several years, and following Mr. Smollett, excuse me, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. I think it's Smollett, but I heard someone pronouncing it Smollier, Smallest, Smollett. Well, I don't know. The thing is that I have been thinking again about this case, about this young man, and how he made something that he wanted to be, well, let's face it, in his benefit, but using a cultural strive or a cultural fight that has been till these years, till this day, everything against the black community, everything against the gay community. And this is a contradiction. Why a black man, why a black gay man chooses to use his culture and his beliefs against him. this is truly, truly a contradiction and also a psychological problem. Mr. Smollett needs therapy. And I want to say this with all respect, all due respect, and with all the love in the world. Uh, Everybody, each of us need uh, therapy, but Mrs. Smollett's case shows once again that he is a man with a strong complex of inferiority. And this is one of the contradictions. The American culture cannot exist without the black culture. And the black culture and the black man and the black woman are strong people. They have suffered a lot, centuries and centuries. Why? Because they are strong, because they are beautiful, because they are talented. White ones didn't want to accept that because a white guy culturally is also perceived as not as strong physically as a black man. A black woman is a beautiful woman. Black women have very, very, they have fire in their souls. And that is very, very attractive to any human being. But what do? You try to change it. You try to nullify it because of ignorance, because of not recognizing that we are all different and that our differences makes us a great world, humanity. These books tells us very, very beautiful things that can make everyone rethink who we are in this planet. Now that we are again striving, fighting for peace in the world, we are fighting with each other and we are fighting with ourselves. Mr. Smollett is fighting with himself. Within himself is the enemy. And that's a lesson for each one of us. The enemy is within, not outside. Let me read you from page 9. The chapter is called Of Our Spiritual Strivings by Mr. W.E.B. Du Bois. The history of the American Negro is the history of this strife, this longing to attain self-conscious manhood, to merge his double self into a better and truer self. In this merging, he wishes neither of the older selves to be lost. He would not Africanize America, for America has too much to teach the world and Africa. He would not bleach his Negro soul in a flood of white Americanism, for he knows that Negro blood has a message for the world. He simply wishes to make it possible for a man to be both a Negro and an American, without being cursed and spit upon by his fellows, without having the doors of opportunity closed roughly in his face. Jussie was successful. Mr. Smollett wasn't a guy that haven't achieved recognition. Everybody says that he is a nice guy. Everybody perceives him or said that he is a beautiful man, handsome. He worked as a model. He was working in a successful TV series called um, uh, Empire. So, and he was earning 2 million a year, and he was living in a great place, and he was not attacked. He was acknowledged as a young talent. And so, what happened with a man whose family is a great family, a loving family, a family that has fight for civil rights for the black community intensively, a man that can call Obama his friend. At least Mr. and Mrs. Obama knows him and supporting him. Samuel L. Jackson, Reverend Jackson. What's going on? What's going on with this man's mind? Part of the problem is a complex of inferiority. He wants to have it all and have all the attention, but he already has it and he had it. It's very, very painful what Mr. Smollett is going through. I think the judge was not only acting with justice, but he was very, very merciful. He was very, very merciful with Mr. Smollett. And I think that he said, no, beginning from this night, Mr. Smollett will be incarcerated. Because what was the judge thinking? He was trying that those days in isolation, Mr. Smollett would think about his actions, find repentance, feel remorse, and ask for forgiveness. Mr. Smollett says that he is a faith man. His family comes from Christianity and his family comes from Judaism, from a Jew family. The Jewish tradition is very, very beautiful. Love one another. Christianism, believing in the Messiah, love, forgive, ask for forgiveness. And Mr. Smollett, it seems that he doesn't practice his faith. He had the chance to think about his actions, and he didn't do it. Now, I'm not saying that he is not going to be safe. I pray for him. I'm just saying that we must exercise compassion. I know that, let's be honest, it's very funny what he did. It's very, very funny. It was an awful script. He's an awful writer. He's an awful director. Maybe he is an accomplished actor, but he blew it. He blew it once and once again. And the judge said the truth. And someone had to tell him the truth straight to the eye. You are a liar. You are a charlatan. and you double down and double down and double down. You have chances, several chances, to abort the mission. No, you were doubling down, and you are doubling down. So let us think about ourselves, and let us think about mercy and compassion. Mr. Smollett, he's in deep trouble in his mind, because where's the limit? Who wants to be? What does he want to achieve? The Nobel Prize? What does he want to achieve? Because there's another problem with Mr. Smollett. He's comparing himself with other people. He must be himself. He wants to be the gay Tupac. He wants to be, I don't know, what actor does he admire? He can't be another Al Pacino. He can't be another Denzel Washington. He must be himself. He must search within himself to exorcise that complex, because he belongs to a beautiful culture. He belongs to a beautiful minority a minority that's still in problems, that it's still attacked. Somebody did something, maybe the black man near my neighbor did it, just because he's black, or just because she is black, because she's very attractive. No. That's the problem with Mr. Smollett. That's a very sad thing. This is a very sad thing. And I know that the American culture tended to joke about everything. And the same happens, for example, in Mexico City. I think that in every country we use jokes to alleviate our anxiety. But Mr. Smollett is an interesting psychological challenge. But because now he's going to double down, I hope not, but he's going to double down, and he's going to play now the card of the activist. The victim, the passive victim, and the activist. And he's not Desmond Tutu. And he's not Malcolm X, and even he is not, I don't know, it's a very, very deeper thing I hope that it will make us think about ourselves as human beings. Obviously, he lied. Obviously, he orchestrated everything. This constant attack against 45, well, I'm not going to enter in any discussions, but I don't think so about President Trump. But the other thing is pride. Mr. Smollett is full of pride, and that's not very good. Everybody has said, everybody said, if Jesse asked for forgiveness, but he won't double down. He's doubled down. He's doubling down, and this is pride, and this is a very difficult thing to destroy. In my life, I had some years when I was very, very, I couldn't accept my faults. And I doubled down, and you want to explode inside, because somewhere in your mind and in your feelings you know that you are wrong, that you must ask for forgiveness. And then if you are a man of faith, you must ask for forgiveness to the Creator, because you are in deep problem. So let us think about this case, and I wish Mr. Smollett to find peace in his mind to find the spiritual realm, ask for forgiveness, change his life, find remorse, find repentance. And it will be very, very difficult for him to live, because everybody says that it's very easy to fool ourselves, but I think the contrary. I think that no, that everybody says that it's very difficult to fool ourselves, but I think the contrary. I think that it's very easy to fool ourselves. We want to believe what we want to believe, and he needs a friend, and the judge, believe it or not, was his friend. The judge acted like a father figure, an authority figure, that, like a father punishing his beloved son. No, son, you are wrong. You are wrong. Go to your room and meditate about the things you have done. Then we will forgive you. You ask for forgiveness, and everything's going to be okay. We are going to work it out. But when you have people around you that continue to feed that conduct, you're not doing any good to a friend. You are not doing any good to a brother. Okay. And finally, I want to read you a beautiful poem from the poet Amiri Baraka. Beautiful black women. Beautiful black women fail. They act. Stop them. Raining. They are so beautiful. We want them with us. Stop them. Raining. Beautiful. Stop raining. They fail. We fail them. And their lips stick out perpetually at our weakness. Raining. Stop them. Black queens. Ruby Dee whips at the window. Raining. Being lost in her life. Being what we all will be. Sentimental, bitter, frustrated. Deprived of her fullest light. Beautiful black women. It is still raining in this terrible land. We need you. We flex our muscles. Turn to stare at our tormentor. We need you. Raining. We need you. Raining. Black queen. These terrible black ladies wonder. Ruby Dee weeps. The window. Raining. She calls. And her voice is left to hurt us slowly. It hangs against the same wet glass. Her sadness and age, and the trip, and the lost heat, and the grey cold buildings of our entrapment. Ladies, women, we need you. We are still trapped and weak. But we build and grow heavy with our knowledge. Women, come to us. Help us get back what was always ours. Help us, women. Where are you, women? Where and who and where and who? And will you help us? Will you open your body souls? Will you lift me up, mother? Will you let me help you, daughter? Wife, lover, will you? Peace.